People are throwing money at me when I'm in the bathroom. I've literally forgotten how to operate a stream. Oh no! One second, guys. I can't remember what I'm doing, where I am, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me, who you are, where you are. See, I can't sing like well, Pedro doesn't sing in his music, admittedly, but. Just bear with me 1 second. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is very professional. We're good. Let's get rid of this screen. Got loads of these screens. I sat back down and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? That's what I thought. Let's post that there. Spam my own channel. Bam. Close Discord. Let's bring up the thing with the bam. Bam. There we go. No, F4 for night vision. That's what I've been told. How's it going, peoples of the internet and me? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking me. It's I've gone a bit peculiar. I'm so sorry. It sometimes happens. Just before I started streaming, I was fine a second ago. I wrote some really inspirational things. Okay. So let's talk about these inspirational things. Start with that while people are filtering in. I suffer.
Didn't choose a sound for being
hosted,
so I decided to use this.
Got a host. Thank you very much, Eri Neo. Oh, QT Boss Battle. Thanks for the monies as well. An unknown number accidentally texted me. An unknown number. I sent them both a picture of my cat. Also, hey board. Merry Christmas in advance. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you for the bits as well, Alfred. Oh my ad grind. So some people grind ads to help keep me going for some reason. Thank you very much, Alfred. It's appreciated. Okay, so. We're going to start with the board talk. Hashtag board talk. I suffer from sort of like bipolar depression, and I have an extreme OCD tendency, which basically rapidly iterates on something that could happen, and I have to solve like control of that situation. I have to solve all of the issues that might arise from it and how to cope in all the situations. So I get very tired very quickly, but I've got a lot of energy when I've got energy, and I'm quite good at solving. That's why I'm reasonably good at like compressing the news. I sort of like try and get as much information that you need to know into that sort of like bite, but it's sort of like a control thing. I also I've got like severe anxiety because of that. But it's only sometimes. Now, all of this is literally sometimes. Sometimes I'm in fucking top of the world with bipolar. I'll be like, woo! Fucking, I'm invincible, going to space, really, like, woo! Like that, okay? And that's even before I've turned on my PC. I'm not even a Star Citizen. That's just how I wake up in the morning. But, we're going to colonize Mars, mother trucker! Okay, so I'm like that. But sometimes it's the polar opposite with, well, what's the point in life? We're all just sacks of meat on a ever depleting rock. Like it's a mixture of the two. However, recently I've been super depressed, but today I wrote some things down and I've zoned and zened myself. So let me tell you what I've written. Enjoy life and living. Leave the world better than you found it. Don't be afraid of living. Don't let the fear of death and the future paralyze you. Don't listen to the OCD. There is no right order to do things in. There is no magic thinking. Your cat will not die if you make your tea wrong. Boom. There we go. That is my words of wisdom for you, chat and stream and people of the internet. I hope that makes you happier and makes you live a longer life. And that's it from me. Goodbye. No. How is everyone today? How's everyone doing? Is everyone got their Christmas sorted? if you celebrate Christmas or the holiday season or whatever. Have you got your holidays sorted? Do you enjoy this time of year? Do you hate it? What's going on? What's going on with people? If you want to ask a question about me's or my channels or the Star Citizens, oh my god, I've got that shiny head Halo problem. Maybe it's not a problem, but you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to deal with the fuzzy head because I can't be asked to sort it. But if you've got a question, put question in brackets, and that means I will be able to find it. Happy to hear that the silly court case was dismissed. I'm not sure if it's entirely dismissed by Pedal for the Crytek versus Star Citizen case. Now, basically, both Leonard French and YouTuber Law, Leah Lesser, went through the cases, which people can see. Bam, there, and where else is it when it's there? Bam, there. They go over the case of the latest update. They go wham, bam. Well, Crytek are fucked. It's basically what it is. They dismiss the major points. Now, I still think there is some stuff previously that wasn't removed in the motion to dismiss, and that was Squadron 42 part of the original interpretation of the contract, which you can actually. It will be super easy for CIG to prove that it was. In my opinion, anyway. I'm not a lawyer, however, I did study law at university, but it's a different type of law. So you've got American law, I've got British law, and all that sort of jazz. It's a very different beast, and I can't remember any of it anyway, really. But there was there some leaked code that they shouldn't have shown in Bug Smashers for Crytek stuff, although that. Even if that was the case, you would have to show damages. I suspect there are 0 damages. So it looks like it's all sorted now to some degree, but I don't know if CIG can pursue funds, the legal costs. Hope they can. That would be great. Someone was messaging me on Twitter saying, oh, I think we should start a fundraiser if they can't recoup their assets so that no money's lost. There's still money lost. You'd have to give them money. That leaves a gaping hole in the money. So hopefully, not gaping hole, we don't know how much has been spent on it, on the case. Hopefully one day we will. And hopefully CIG will be able to recoup their losses, their legal fees for that. Yeah, so that looks, for the most part, sorted and put to bed now. It is still ongoing, so I say, for the most part. Crytek do have a few, like 18 days or something, from now to re-amend, to have a third amended complaint, to sort of like rectify any deficiencies, which is unlikely to happen according to these YouTubers. So hopefully that's all done now. So we will continue to follow that case. Click, 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 click. You can hear me, Mark. I was in the bathroom earlier. I do apologise. I want store credit for a spare Kraken. Yes, give store credit. Prehensile pilots. Would you consider featuring it, Bored? You want to start an organisation? I will consider all orgs from the new org spotlights. If you go onto my Discord, discord.gg/BoredGamer, and then poke me. I want links to your org, what your org does, pretend you're recruiting me so I can get a nice blurb about your org, and I've got a big list of them, but I will go through that list and see what you do and go, oh, great, I'll grab these guys and see if I get an interview with them next week or the week after or whatever. I'm planning to do a few orgs a month, and it will be for like one-off, typically one-off, sort of like, tell me about your org, and let's talk about some of the gameplay that you do, and talking about some gameplay mechanics that focus on your org. I might expand that to playing with certain orgs as well, so we can get some interesting gameplay up, because gameplay is quite important, you know. We've got a game we can play now, we might as well play it. You're taking a shitload of money? From what? How so? What do you want? What do you want from me? Give me money. Let's donate. Yeah, I'm just testing out NPC behaviour, that's what I was doing. Can I join your org and play with you? You're more than welcome to join the org. I actually run two. We've got BoredGamer, which is going to be the social org. Oh, this shiny halo! Look, shiny halo. Oh my god, it's the reflection of my head onto the green screen. Jeez, wow. I've got Nomad Black and BoredGamer. Nomad Black's going to be run sort of like more light, very light RP. It's not really RP, but it has mechanics behind it so that people can vote to decide what we do. But the BoredGamer is going to be more for filming. If you want to play, come on the Discord. I'm going to be playing much more regularly during the weekdays. People are around. Bam, I'm going to play with them. What's new in 3.3.7? Not much. To be honest, they took out the Expo content from 3.3.6 and tried to fix a load of issues. They fixed negative balances for UEC and stuff like that. It's a quick fix until 3.4 is out. 3.4 is in Evocati at the moment, and then that's going to go live, I believe, by the 20th, 21st is what the aim is. Wider PTU probably at the end of this week. You did make it for a live video. Good job. I am a oh no, look. My cat's going to die. No, no, don't think like that. They're invincible cats. Also, I am a few minutes behind chat always because I'm the worst. You've had a shit day. I love you, Neo. You take... In the future, can NPC be hired to pilot your ship? Yes. And they actually talked about that on Calling All Devs on Monday in a bit more detail. So... NPC crew, you'll be able to hire them, and they've previously talked about you being able to hire individual crewmen, skeleton crews, and full cruise for capital ships. We don't know the sort of costs for that. We do now know that NPCs won't always be at their posts, so they will have sort of like schedules. They'll want to go eat, drink, and sleep. However, if you go into combat or tell them that they're on red alert, they will stay at their post. They will go to their combat positions, and if they're there for too long, they will get worse and worse at their roles and jobs, basically. They will become less effective. I wouldn't say only now matters. Tomorrow's you is important. Okay? Tomorrow's you is important, and you should strive to make tomorrow's you better. It's just because you can always be striving for more. You can always be living life and having fun, and you know what I mean. It doesn't always have to be like the most fun, like I'm going to die tomorrow, sort of fun. Because yeah, you should be working for tomorrow's you as well. But you know, Confucius say, oh my god, will an Urza fit in a Freelancer Max? No, not safely. Maybe if you go fast enough. Someone said it would, actually. I remember someone saying it did, but I'm pretty sure it does not. Star Citizen's real, Christmas is fake. Oh, wow. But what else have we got here? What are you not forward in the game, role-wise? Sorry, what are you not forward? Don't know what that means. Do you like the cold this time of year in the UK? I love the cold. I love the cold. I love the snow. I love coldness. It's like fresh air. Oh, it's lovely. Which org impresses you the most? Test through sheer numbers in org is pretty impressive. BSI were really well organised when I played with them. The corporation were super nice. Matadors love to be hated. I do love Forgotten Heralds, but that's because Harby runs it. I love you, Harby. It's quite a lot, actually. There's quite a lot of orgs I quite like. Twerk Corps, just, I don't know. It runs really well. I was watching on the stream, and they were doing stuff, and they were his ship got destroyed. He took it really well. In fact, he was loving it. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot. Need to see them once we have more mechanics and persistence. Then I want to see organisation. Then it's all going to be about who can be the most organised. Do you think base building is reasonably on the horizon by 2020? Yes, yes, yes. So they wanted the land claim mechanics in by the end of this year. I mean, that's obviously not going to happen now, unless something magic happens for 3.4. But they wanted those mechanics in, so I suspect we'll get them early to mid next year. Some sort of land claim mechanics. It might not be building, but it's well on its way to that. So yeah, by 2020, I think we'll have a large percentage of at least the first iteration of, by the end of 2020, of the gameplay mechanics. Not all of them, but all of them. You want a kid from me, Tatsuya? Is that sort of like, you'd steal my child if I had one? Is because that's not cool, dude. Board's not easy. How dare you presume if I'm easy or not? Do you think the delay in the Phoenix Emerald is CIG being savvy that if only the difference is a paint job, it's not a true variant, and selling it as such with lifetime insurance could cause problems? Oh, maybe, but I do think we'll probably see the Phoenix Emerald in like 3.4 or whatever. I thought the Phoenix Emerald was actually already out until you said that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that we'll get 3.4 by the 20th? As a live build QTE boss battle, an 8. It's not, the patch isn't super complex, in my opinion. It's mainly hooking up missions correctly in an area we already have in the game. It's an extension of the 3.3 branch. Are there plans to implement children's NPCs in the persistent universe? I believe not. I believe that that actually causes the rating of games to go up, and it would be violence against children because you could shoot them, explode ships into them. That would be bad. So probably not. It's the shininess of my head. Look, for my shiny head. Shiny head. Shiny head. Shiny head. I could probably fix it actually. Let's see if I can, real quick. Video capture. Let's lower the white balance very slightly. Very slightly. Bam. There you go. It's fixed it, hasn't it? The white balance lower, then my shiny head shouldn't be so shiny unless the camera tries to compensate for the white balance, but it shouldn't do. What will happen when you steal a capital ship? If the owner has lifetime insurance, they can reclaim it. Yeah, they're about to reclaim it. We're not entirely sure how that insurance works, but they're about to reclaim it. It might take a week or two or longer for them to reclaim that, though, because if the capital ship's not run ready, it will have to be built in a shipyard or whatever. That stolen capital ship will then have to go through a major process if it wants to be used in lawful space. It probably won't ever be able to be used in lawful space without attracting police and cops immediately. But then it will be in, you know, outlaw space or zero sec space or whatever. So that will be an interesting thing. Hopefully it will happen. One of the other things that might happen is people might liberate ships from pirates. That's a whole different conversation as well, because that's really interesting, because I want to go to pirate land and I want to steal their ships, because that's no problems. Surely, like, you liberate one of their ships, especially if you're seen in it, you're still breaking the law because it's a stolen ship. It's a pirate ship, because I think the hulls of ships are also going to have their own reputation. So if you're caught with one of them, they'll go, that's a pirate ship, or that's a stolen ship. Once more persistence is in, do you think people would still test the low tier stuff that mostly new players do? Yeah, to an extent. One of the things that I like to do in this sort of game when there's an alpha or a beta and I know it's going to be a reset is get really efficient at the early stage of the game. And I think some people play for different reasons as well. Some people want the grind. Some people want to mess around in the lower tier ships for a longer period of time. And go back to them as well, so... When are they announcing Squadron 42 release? There'll be more Squadron 42 information, I believe, on the
15 months and going strong.
Oh, 15 months going strong. Jaden Cattrall, thank you very much. I love your face. Appreciate it. Thank you for the sub. Yes, I'm expecting more Squadron 42 information on the 20th, 21st of this month. They're also adding Squadron 42 to the roadmap. If that promise was broken, I'd be very upset. I've been waiting for those roadmap updates for over a year. And, yeah. So we'll know more then. Potential Squadron 42 release, end of next year. What rumours are.
1 year down. Keep it up, Bored.
Oh, Vulcan Cannon, thank you very much. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm old and fat now. I was old and fat before though, but slightly older, slightly fatter now. What do you think? What do you want to do in the Idris when you get the chance to see one? I suppose, I mean, I'll mess around with it, but really I want to take on high tier missions with it. So if there's like a big pirate mission or something that you need to multi-crew with it, some PvP against another Idris, stuff like that. That's What joystick would I recommend at the £100 level? T16000M. Pretty solid joystick for that sort of price level. If you... It's downstairs at the moment. I've got the... These are amazing. I mean, there's massively out of the price range you told me. The Verpil stuff, I love. I think it's the best stick and best HOTAS I've ever used.
Feeling left out on the subscription, love. Winking face.
Oh, Hanathcom, I love you so much. Leia, mwah. Thank you very much for the subscription. The Subaru, much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. Do you think a Starliner will be a good moneymaker? I mean, it will be balanced, and you can be good at that role and make a reasonable amount of money for your time. So yeah. It's going to be risk-reward based as well. And risk and reward in the Starliner might be a bit different. It might be taking tighter, narrower jobs. So you've got like deadlines to get people to certain places, or maybe you've got to take them very close to hazards or dangerous areas or whatever, in cut corners to get there maybe. And it might be, you might be able to like set prices for your tickets, and you might have to get them there on a particular time, and NPCs and players might, well, NPCs especially, might decide to take your services to get from one place to another in your Starliner based on the cheapness of the ticket compared to time, and there might be some sort of algorithm or whatever going on there to work that out to make them go to your services rather than others and things like that. Thinking about getting a Connie around Christmas, but would waiting for the Carrack make more sense? It depends if you want a Carrack. Carrack's one of my favourite ships in the world. I love it. It's going to be a very powerful, multi-role, compressed corvette, is the way I see it now. Obviously, it is focused on exploration, but it can do a little bit of everything. I like the Carrack's landing gear now in its body. That makes a lot more sense to me. I mean, people think it looks a bit more derpy or whatever, but it was part of his wings before, and if they got blown off, then you're not landing. Are we screwed reputation-wise if we have one friend that can only play spontaneously, but we don't want to fly undercrewed? I'm not sure what you mean, but you can get NPC crew to cover him. Can you find out... Well, you can't at the moment get NPC to cover him, but you will be able to. Can you find out where the pool table's being played and bar staff working stand in the roadmap? Oh, so that's probably not going to be on the roadmap, but they will probably add that in on a certain patch. They are working on that stuff now, those set pieces, and they keep on working more and more on bartenders. There was some more about bartenders getting a bit more love in the monthly report. I would expect to see more and more interactions and NPCs working a lot better, even in 3.4. But every patch, expect them to add more and more to that. Are we going to have to buy food and drinks for crew members to stock up the ship? I'm assuming so. I'm assuming we need stocks in our ship, and stocks and facilities will mean that our crewmen basically can nom and fill up quicker and don't need to be off duty as long, or maybe they can stay on duty for longer, or they don't get depressed as quickly, like they don't become ineffective as quickly or whatever, or maybe they become more effective the better your sort of facilities are. That's what I'm expecting, but I'm not sure which way they'll implement it. Do you know if CIG are planning to implement purchasable apartments so we can buy them? That is the plan, yes. Rentable and purchasable apartments, physicalised ones as well. So we'll have an address, effectively. That will be your apartment. It doesn't sort of like spawn in when you're there. It is there. Well, I suppose it would spawn in. It wouldn't be rendered. The server would actually offline it. But the exterior would be there. And if someone somehow broke into it, it would be there. If you see what I mean. Do they plan to implement light inside ships so it won't be dark inside? Yeah. Yeah, there's full lighting sets in ships. I mean, some ships are obviously broken. Playable pool tables and minigames while in quantum travel. They want things to do while you're in quantum travel. This will be repairing the ship, servicing the items, using mobiGlass, maybe mini-games, maybe physics games, maybe pool tables, maybe watching TV, stuff like that. They made a little basketball game, but we don't know exactly what we're going to have until we have it, until they talk about it a bit more. But they've talked about all the stuff they can do, and yeah, they can have playable pool tables, they can have you playing cards, they can have you playing chess, but...
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Why isn't it speaking? Why are you not speaking? Harbinger, I love you. Bored, Blinky McBlind here with the... Oh, Now how do I see... Sure, Let's go here. I'm going to have to go to my Streamlabs. I'm going to have to go to my dashboard. I was hoping it would read it out. Recent events? Bored? Question mark. Blinky Book Blind here. People don't know, Harbinger is technically blind. With the Associated Star Citizen Press. Do all of your algorithms use so much tongue? Yes. Love your finger gun wielding face. Pew pew. Thank you very much, Harbinger. I love your face. I gave Forgotten Herald's a little shout out earlier as well. My head is shiny again. Does my head just get shinier as the podcast, whatever this is, goes on? Oh. What else have we got? What else have we got? Why am I doing that sound? You've thrown me for a loop now. I've gone all loopy. What have we got? Let's get back up to where we were. Does Brexit made you buy less because of lower pound? Question mark. Oh, I love you, Keep With a Fate. I love that sentence for some reason. I don't really buy in many more ships, and on the YouTubes I typically get paid in dollars. So Brexit's, well, the lower pound is good for me financially. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but it is also an accurate thing to say. But I don't really buy many ships. I bought a load of ships a while ago, and there's nothing really I want that I didn't have before. I did a little bit of jiggery pokery in the anniversary sale. So I've got a couple of carrots and stuff now. But since you promote Shadow that much, what is your experience with input lag? I have very little input lag. I can record and play Star Citizen to quite a high degree. However, I wouldn't want to play competitive Star Marine on Shadow. My connection's not perfect. They are getting better and better though. If you're like in France or by one of the exchange centres, like one in Amsterdam, there's one in the Americas and stuff. If you're quite close to them, we have really good internet, then it's not going to be so noticeable. For some people, it's going to be a terrible experience with input lag. For others, not so much. Sorry, what are you not looking forward to in-game role-wise? I don't know. I can't really say at the moment because I don't really know. I suppose long travel periods because I need to get from one place to another, but I'm waiting for other people. Waiting for people? But I need it all to come together before I can actually have a more definitive opinion on that. Any more roles and gameplay, the better at the moment. What will happen when you steal a capital ship? We've talked about that. Do you know when CIG want to make group question sharing and money? And money trading with a group member in game. So they do want to get that in relatively quickly. I'm not sure exactly when. I was hoping for 3.4, more likely like 3.5 now, in my expectation. And then because they want to get guilds in, they want to get more group systems in, they want to get group missions in. Obviously, you can share money now by like doing a service beacon. You can sort of bodge it to work like that, but that's not ideal. So expect more group function like that and more group gameplay. 3.5 probably. Does feature creep worry me? Not as much anymore. It's sort of like already happened. There might be supporting features on things. They might tweak some stuff, but I doubt we will see any entirely new, not talked about at all features. Probably. I mean, they might do something. They might do something mad. And we're like, ooh, but like planetary landing stuff, and then the evolution of that, the procedural stuff with that. It's probably like, and the building of bases. Probably the last of the feature creep. We might get buildable stations, admittedly, and things like that. But they have talked about that briefly. So, and eventually, they will move on to add loads and loads of more stuff. But that will probably come after everything else they've talked about. So I'm not really worried about feature creep because I want more features after they've completed the game as a lot of us envision some of it. That's a really weird sentence for me to say. Everyone's going to have a different vision on what the game is actually going to be like in each of its individual components. We just want them all in, at least at stage 1, to have some sort of beta or beta for the game, and then a few systems to play around with, the actual systems to travel to, and then they can add more gameplay area, and then we've got like a full game, and then they can add even more feature creep. But let's do it like that, yeah. I think they've moved away from the voxel mechanics of digging asteroids, and they've gone with the multiple part asteroids, but not voxelated, not voxelized. Will the Lancer Max be able to have engines upgraded from 2 to 4 in game? Don't know. We haven't seen the rework yet. Well, we sort of saw a picture of it, but we don't know exactly what hardpoints it's got. Given the Banner Merchantman's new supposed size, do you believe the ship would still be able to land on a large outpost pad, such as Olisar's large pads? That is a very good question, and I don't know the answer to that. However, I do expect the Banu Merchantman to be able to land on large pads on space stations and on planets, because that's one of the things it wants to be able to do, isn't it? I also suspect it's got amazingly good VTOL thrusters. Even if it's massive, I suspect it will have some way of landing on planets. I mean, it could just do... I mean, they want ship-to-station docking, so maybe it will just do that. Maybe it will only be able to land in certain places, very few landing zones, but it will be able to dock with stations. I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. When do you speculate the non-consensual trade of life forms be in game? Slavery, is he talking about? Seems like they have shied away from the feature. I want to capture pirates and employ them. Yeah, so bounty hunting is also part of that. There's like less than lethal kills and things. I suspect that you will be able to less than lethal someone, so like stun them, and then they become a commodity, effectively. And that's the way I would do it. So even if it's a player, if you take them down with less than lethal, maybe it doesn't do so much damage to their health, but when they're actually taken down, they're effectively dead. They've become cargo, they respawn, whatever, and you can take them to the slave mines, or you can take them as a bounty, whatever. So I do it. Don't know when that's coming. but they want more and more bounty hunting in. I suspect we'd have that next year, something like that. Some more of those bounty hunting, less than lethal mechanics. Do you think that the current solar system will be done in the next 12 months? No, but I do think we will have what we consider a complete, or the majority complete Stanton by then. I think they'll still want to be added more and more and more, so they'll constantly flesh out that system with more procedural tech, with like the Arrow and Halo, with more points of interest, and every time their procedural tech or solar system tech and planet tech gets updated, so will that system. Is the time it takes to claim ships going to go up? 5 minutes for a fighter seems fine, but 20 to 30 minutes for medium to large ships doesn't seem enough. Yeah, it's going to be based on probably your insurance, which will be, there'll be different types of insurance in the future, probably. And it will also be based on, is there a ship available? Do they have to make it? How often have you been losing ships? Lots of factors. And I suspect that ships will take a lot longer to get to you. You're not going to want to lose them, but I also suspect that times to kill will go up, and that people won't be murdering each other in the safer zones so much, and things like that. Hey Bored, great videos, love your updates, thanks. Lee, mwah. When are they going to fix simple things like getting into your ship? Lost counts to how many times I spawn a ship and can not get on the door. So frustrating. They're working towards that every patch. 3.4 should be significantly more polished than any previous patch we've ever had. Because they've had more time to work on that 3.3 branch for 3.4. And 3.4, some of those big 3.4 features got pushed out to 3.5. And 3.4 is just an extension of the 3.3 branch. So I'm expecting a much more polished experience with a lot more stuff working. So for me, it's obviously accessibility to ships, which is actually pretty good now. Most ships work pretty fucking well. I haven't had any problems where I can't get into ships since 3.3.5 or 3.3.6, probably 3.3.5. Or get stuck in chairs or anything. But yeah, 3.4 should be even more polished and should have access to missions. So they're hooking up the missions for the Hurston area, but also they're trying to get the missions and NPCs to work in the missions that we already have. So a lot of people still haven't done a Ruto mission, or a Mars Eckhart mission, or a Recco Battaglia mission, but an admin missions bug out, and some of the other missions bug out, and picking up a crate, you can't give them to the admin, and things like that. So those missions, they need to get working. 3.4 should help. How do you feel about Headhunter orgs and the value of their paid stealth assassination gameplay? I think Headhunters might be the sort of like more outlawry versions of bounty hunters. I think that might happen. I think you'll definitely get headhunting proper assassinations in outlaw zones. Less likely to be in the more lawful zones, because if you're detected doing it, you're going to be burned, aren't you? So. What would be your guesstimate on the time frame for a functioning in-game economy, ships, trading, etc.? James, so we're getting more every patch. We have a functioning economy now. It's just, you know, there's like two functions. You can buy commodities or you can buy ships, so items and things, but we can't sell things back other than commodities at the moment. We want to be able to sell ships. We want to be able to sell them to other players. We want to be able to buy and sell items. We want more reasons to play. We need full persistence. So really, we need full persistence first. I'm expecting full persistence. I'm expecting deeper persistence and something towards that by the end of next year. But I don't really know. Something they might be able to get done by next year. But we need that to have a proper economy.
Being hosted, so I decided to use this.
K Penguins, thank you very much for the host. I appreciate the hostosity. Hosting. Thank you. What else we got? Would a player-built city moon be a good idea if possible? If you use it for a base, you might, if there's materials there for, you know, if there's materials there for you to exploit, yeah, why not? You're supposed to be able to mine on planets using buildings and structures, might have some form of manufacture. There's lots of things you might be able to get from them. Cyborg, thank you very much for the host. What else? Oh no, Oh no, I jumped a lot of question. I'm not sure why I was doing like a almost Jamaican accent there. From what I understand, our characters will get older over time if we survive for long enough. Will the character eventually die of old age? I very much doubt it. I think what they're talking about age really is battle wear and like getting injured and damaged. Your character aging like that, so you'll get scars and accrue. You'll get older because the more you die, the more likely you are to permanently die. That is what I'm expecting. They might. Then they have to have your hair growing and they do lots of weird stuff. So I think it's unlikely your characters will actually age. But Anvil, Arrow, or Gladius? It's the age-old question, isn't it? Well, it's a pretty new question. I don't know. I can't answer that until we have the new flight model. When we have the new flight model, I will compare them both more properly. The Arrow is a good bit cheaper. It's more modernised. 3 size 3s is pretty strong. The Gladius is going to be faster in a straight line, or at least top speed, and it's going to be more armoured. So it's also a bigger target. As part of the contract, CIG and Crytek, CIG cannot directly or indirectly develop so-called Star Engine. Is CIG waiting for the license agreement to expire, thus slowing development? No, and the court literally dismissed that part of the case. The court has said that CIG is not engaging in the business of creating a competing game engine. They would have to say they are making a game engine to license to third parties. They're making a game engine for the game they're making, or switching game engine, or editing the game engine, or whatever, is not that. That's what the court said. You can see from Leonard French, or you can see from Leah Lesser, YouTuber Law. Do you know when we'll be able to control the power to our shields, weapons, and engines, please? We can now. On the MFDs. We'll have more and more granular control as the game goes forward, but we can actually do that now. Board. Do you think some ships, classes, or mechanics inspired from EVE Online, such as supercaps, Titan supercarriers, and perhaps structures like stargates or jump gates and jump bridges? Do you think we'll see them? Okay. Yeah, I think we'll see some of EVE subsumed into Star Citizen, some of the good and the bad of EVE. I don't know what ships and stuff we'll see, and obviously we're going to have the Retribution Super Dreadnought, but that might only be one in the game. Maybe they'll add more of them later and say, yeah, now everyone can have a Super Dreadnought, like 2 years into the project or whatever, like when the game's launched. Yeah, I think we'll see some stuff like that. I think we'll see it in lots of inspiration from lots of different space games. But EVE's a good one because I like the way that EVE works for a lot of things. Hi, BoredGamer. Question. Do you think the Vulture will come with salvage implementation? Yes. So, well, what I mean by that is, in 3.5 we're going to have some salvage. At least that's where it's pegged and planned at the moment. That will be some, at least rudimentary, salvaging mechanics for the Reclaimer. That's what they said. So I think that the Vulture will be coming after that, and maybe it's just in 3.6. Obviously they'll try and get it in 3.5 if they can, but it's very unlikely. But that means that the salvage mechanics should, at least some basic ones, should be there for when the Vulture comes in, and they can just add it to it. Do you see what I mean? You know what I mean?
I couldn't choose a sound for being hosted, so I decided to use this.
Flux. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated for the host and the love. Do you think stealth mechanics will ever allow you to park a ship out of sight, power off, and have it undetectable by active scanners? Or will they always be detectable and blown up? Yes, you will be able to stealth to a significant level if you manage your systems right and if you have the right components. 100%. The Prowler is going to be very good at doing that, even with some of its systems on. But yeah, I mean, the Eclipse, even now, the Eclipse is quite hard to detect, especially if you turn your shields off. You can be flying around. It's very dangerous to do that, but it's also hard to detect. So yes, that is 100% the plans. Manage your systems, have some of your systems turned off, have them all turned off, you can stealth pretty well. But if someone spots you, or detects you very well, like does a very narrow ping, boop, and hits you with a very, very narrow scan, they'll probably be able to detect you, and if they visually spot you. Do you think the Orion's mining mechanic will be similar to the Prospector, just on a larger scale? For the first implementation of it, probably. Do you know if they plan to have org members, ships have org decals by default? I don't know. I think they want to have decals and some ship customization. We're actually going to see some interesting customization of ships with 3.5 and the 300 series of ships. They're reworking them, but they also want them to be customizable on the website. I think that's going to be like, get them in different colours and you can change the interiors of them and stuff like that, and maybe have some decals on them. We don't know what sort of like organisation level customization we're going to have, but I think it's very likely that we will be able to have org decals on ships. Does LAN capability necessitate single game server like Eve? That's what they want. They want everything, if possible, on a single server. That might not be possible, but that's the current plan. Given the 4 dev offices and estimated 500 employees, is there a risk of them running out of money before release? That 210 million has been since 2014 or so. They haven't had 500 employees since 2014 or so, though, have they? And they've been earning 36 million plus, 35 to 36 million plus every year, with this year being the best year, I believe, so far. So no, there's only the most minute chance of them running out of money. They're genuinely bringing in more and more money constantly. They'll grow to a sensible rate that allows them to build the game. It's good that they're putting all the money into the game. That's what I wanted. I don't want them to fuck around with other IPs or anything, which is good. I don't want them, like, you know, get Blizzard and stuff making games like Titan and then stop making them. But yeah, Star Citizen, Squadron 42, great. And then they can do Squadron 42 Episode 2 and 3, and they can just keep on working on Star Citizen. Even once it's out, they can just keep on adding more and more to it. Yeah, it's very little chance. I think they're pretty financially healthy and sensible. But there's definitely been big delays with certain things. So I mean, that's a whole other thing. And that's the curse of Star Citizen. I think it's genuinely going to be great. I love what they're doing. I love the project. Just starting to deliver properly now with actual tangible patches that give proper good updates, and the game has got a frame rate now above 1, and it's pretty fun and pretty cool. Still not a game yet. Not a sit down and play game anyway. Although there's a lot of fun to be had in it, certainly. But it's the Ghost of Star Citizen. You're going to be waiting a long time before it's in that sort of like on the shelf game. Do you think they will add more drug labs? Yes. And I think they will be procedurally generated to start with, but then commodities will be a lot more dynamic and then simulated as well. Do you think that adds space station strongholds, Paul Cell, with lots of turrets? Yes. I think that's one of the ways they will enforce defence. They'll get rid of armistice zones, they'll have security forces on the ground, they'll have defence turrets, and they'll have patrolling ships.
Dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Do I know if Planet Earth will be in game? It's supposed to be, and Sol System is supposed to be in game. I'm not sure if it's going to be destroyed. I'm not sure if it's going to be at war with Terra and the rest of the UEE. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be there. But yeah, it's supposed to be in game, as far as I'm aware. I will come to that. Someone chucked money at me. It looks like KW. Oh, I see it. KW0311 USMC. Why do you have to have such a long name? Hey, Board. Are we going to have teleportation, gardening, lightsabers, underground caves? Where can we build super secret bases? Where we can build super secret bases and planet-sized ships with super beam weapons. I doubt a lot of that will be in game. We probably will see something similar to an energy sword or whatever. I'm fucking sure they'll put a lightsaber in. Like, every fucking game does, don't they? They want farming and gardening, and they've even talked about, well, obviously we've got the biodomes on the Endeavour, they've already got plans, and they've talked about the only sort of like things you'll be able to do to change the surface of a planet other than building on it is potentially changing soil. So probably gardening and farming on planets as well. Teleportation, I don't believe, is going to be a thing. Beam weapons are going to be a thing. Underground caves, they've talked about the procedural generation of rivers, underground caves and roads. But I'm not sure if you're going to be able to build anything in them. Super secret bases, planets are huge and moons are huge anyway. You probably don't need to hide it underground. They certainly have not talked about building things underground, but there are underground facilities on Hurston now. The big bunkers, they actually go down quite far in a lift. But planet-sized ships, not as far as I'm aware. However, there is that planet which is made, which I can't remember what it's called now, because it literally left my head. But the UEE were making a planet, basically. I'm not sure about super beam weapons, but there's going to be beam weapons. Thank you very much for the donation as well, KW. Appreciated. Hey, BoredGamer, thanks very much, Carrot, for the donation. Mwah. Hey, BoredGamer, love your vids. Do you know whether or not a ship purchased in game will be wiped with the 3.4 patch, like with every other inventory? Yep. Yeah, I believe that's what's happening. Expect every major patch and most, if not all, mini patches to wipe our VVC and our VVC purchases. Are you able to build your own ships? No. I hope that is a thing eventually, though. It probably will be a thing eventually, but I hope it's a thing that they talk about in the future. Not too distant. But I just want manufacturing game, even if that's just weapons and munitions and food and stuff. Because I like the idea that pirates and outlaws can be entirely self-sufficient if they get a base set up. Because then bases are really important, and people will want to attack them to dislodge them. Ninja swords. Probably. You saw, I mean, they saw the Citizen Con knife they made. It was a cool looking stabby ninja type knife that they made glow. Like, they're going to have loads of weird weapons like that. They'll be like, oh, it's a Banu powered, an energy sword. Brr. That's how they talk. Do you think planet blockade will exist? People will try to blockade planets. People will try to take over planets. That will be a thing. You'll be able to blockade if you're blockading at the right areas. You'll at least be able to attempt blockades. I think, yeah, I think that's going to be a thing. Is there a ship you still hope CIG adds? Or do you already have everything you desire? Modules to ships that we already have to make them more modular. That's really what I want. And lots of ground vehicles. Like I want a proper full-on APC, military APC, and then a ground vehicle for most of the roles that we have for space for ships as well. So repair vehicle, a salvage vehicle.
Dodging bullets. Like,
what do you think about mechanic where your party is following the leader, repeating his or her maneuvers, like formation and freelancer? Do you reckon they will introduce something to help squadron leaders take control of their pilots? Well, the NPCs can do that already. NPCs can fly in formation, and that was quite a long time ago they could do that. So you could probably nominate someone to be a leader and then NPCs fly with them. And you could probably somehow relay that to anyone else that's human in that squad, maybe? Or maybe they can do some form of autopilot and stuff. Maybe? I don't know. I'd like that. Do you feel the Tally should be able to kill a Corvette ship like the Hammerhead due to it being a heavy bomber? I think a Retaliator in the right situation should be able to heavily damage, if not destroy, a Hammerhead. However, torpedoes are slow, and there's lots of turrets that can take down torpedoes on a Hammerhead. I'm not sure, unless it was really undetected and the shields were down, if the Retaliator could take a Hammerhead if the Hammerhead knew it was there. But obviously if it's supported by other ships, then it's a whole different story. It's interesting to see how they balance that sort of time to kill, because the time to kill for larger ships will be going up. You might be able to cripple it with a strong torpedo salvo that will hit, like it might entirely annihilate it. So that you'd have to repair it internally, whatever. But it won't. Well, it won't entirely annihilate, I suppose, is what I'm actually saying. But it might severely damage it, might cripple it, might destroy its engines, might need repairs. Do you think data runners will be able to hack other ships and implant system viruses? No. Moomasher, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. There might be missions to do that. I very much doubt there'll be that sort of E-war on data runners. We are going to have probably more E-war ships than just the Sentinel. But... even then, there's only going to be a certain limited amount of E-war that you can do. There might be like, maybe there'll be like missiles. Like they've talked about like EMP missiles before, but maybe there'll be more sort of like disable system missiles, or like scramble missiles and things that confuse your systems, things like that. Maybe. I think a lot of E-war is going to be spoofing signals and jamming their systems and stuff like that. So. When do you think in-game ship rentals will go live for the PU? Potentially for 3.4. Do you think they'll make the Vanguards bigger for the rework? They are unlikely. What they are going to do for the Vanguards rework is they're reworking the Warden's center module, center part. They are also making, I believe, all of the Vanguards have the same ramp, the larger ramp that the Hoplite has. And then there's going to get some light updates and balance fixes. Other than that, I think they're working on the turret area, and they're working on the rear ramp area as well. Can we expect to receive docking mechanic? I don't know when we're going to get that. They are working on ship to station docking and then ship to ship docking. That is a reasonably high priority as far as I'm aware. Hi Rich, that bizarre ship sketch that Paul Jones ran along the window during the last ship shape, do you think he's just trolling us? Or is it a legit CR approved tease? I did see that. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably, it could just be concept art of just something random that they're messing around with, because there's a load of concept designs that get concepted. It could have been, and it could be a concept of a ship we already have in game or whatever as well. Seems to me that larger orgs are more vulnerable to spies. That is true. How could that be defended against? I don't know. It's up to those larger orgs to work it out. How is it defended against an EVE? You need a good vetting process, and then even with the good vetting process, sometimes those people can work their way up and do some severe damage. Question about Starfarer. Can I use it as a solo ship for fuel gathering, or is there any more operators needed? You probably can get away with doing it solo. However, I wouldn't recommend it. It'll be more efficient to do it with even just an NPC crew. Carrot gave you £5 and you skipped him. Sorry, I think I went back to him. Sorry, I'm just really far behind the chat. That's all. Hey, boy, do you have any idea when we're about to hire people as escorts? And will we be able to hire specific people, aka friends? So we can hire people as escorts now, effectively. Combat, you know, in the service beacons, you can get escorts from there. You get combat escort. To actually filter it for certain people only, that's something they're going to be adding, but I don't know when. Probably pretty soon though, because they're going to keep on tweaking those service beacons. I'd expect some pretty big service beacon updates in 3.5 and 3.6 actually. What concept ships do you think they'll announce in 2019? Drake Corsair, if they don't announce it. So if these aren't announced for the holiday special, then I expect we'll see some more alien ships. I expect we'll see a load more ground vehicles. I suspect we'll see the Drake Corsair, which will be sort of like the Constellation Aquila Drake ship. Titan suits, the exosuits they've talked about. I don't know, anything else other than that? Lots of modularity stuff. Thank you for the love, appreciate it. We'll have to Will we be able to have multiple characters per account? I believe so. I believe that is the intention, is still to have multiple characters per account, but I do not know that for sure. Does the multi-tool have any in-game use in the current build? I think you can hack doors with it. I'm not sure. My brain is a bit wisecrossed between different builds, so I'm not sure. It will be able to hack doors, so you'll be able to use it to hack into people's ships that have locked the doors. It will take a little while, but that's the idea of it. You'll also be able to use it to weld out components in things like the downed satellite mission, which we may get in 3.4. Do you think we'll be able to hoard cargo in hangars? Yes, we will be able to. That's one of the things I believe we'll be able to do, storage in hangars for like your big cargo shipments that you want to sell later. It's the synth world, thank you very much. Already own a game pack and CCU'd it to a Polaris with the melt value of 685. I want the entrepreneur pack because it has all the starter industry ships. Given this, would you buy the pack? Butcher, I don't know. It depends how much you like the Polaris. Obviously, you want to get some of that stuff in game, and you'll be able to. So it's up to you. What do you want more? When do I expect the game will release? I expect we will have something similar to a beta by the end of 2020. And I think we will have potentially something as early as the end of 2021 for a sort of like release-ish game. They're going to keep on updating it though massively after that. Thank you for the love, appreciate it. With salvage coming in the next year, do you think salvage value will be greater than the mission reward for combat missions? It needs to be balanced. They actually said they wanted to accelerate in the shorter term missions and ways of getting our PVC, but I don't know. I suspect that it'll be pretty high, the rewards for salvage in the shorter term though. It's going to be interesting to see how they make that dynamic eventually. Thank you for the cheer, Astral. Thank you very much. Okay, so when do you expect full persistence to be implemented? I feel like I'm wasting my time at the moment. You kind of are, Carrot. So if you want to actually be making progress, if you want to be testing out the mechanics and help pushing them into the direction you want, then you're not. But at the moment, it's not a sit down and play game. Full persistence, I think we're going to get more persistence by the end of next year, but we need roadmap updates to be able to judge it a bit better. And then stuff like that will still change, get pushed back and pushed forward and stuff. It's just we'll have at least an idea of their plans. Have you considered running in a Pirate's Hammerhead to hold Jump Town just for fun? Yeah, I probably will do that at some point. Do some Jump Town stuff. I want to do both sides of that gameplay actually in the very near future. Do you think data runners will be able to hack other ships and implant? No, we already talked about that. I don't think they will be able to. Do you think CIG will consider increasing the ore capacity of the Prospector, perhaps from the current 32 to 40? I actually think the ore capacity of the Prospector will go down slightly, but it will then have the jettisonable pods when they get full, so it will actually be able to carry a lot more and jettison it. Love your work. I daily devour your videos. Thank you very much, Nitron X. Appreciate the donation. I love your face. Thank you so much. You think we'll be able to put a couple of NPCs making trading routes or mining with our ships while we're doing something else? So they don't want, they want everything to be hands-on from a player point of view. They want NPCs to help you be able to do that, but they don't want NPCs just doing things for you in the background. So I'm not sure is the answer to that. That's basically what they've said. They want it to be a bit hands-on. They want the NPCs to be with you, but they don't want them just doing stuff for you in the background. You can get players to do that for you though. Does the price of the freelancer Does the price of the Freelancer may increase at 3.4 release? I love some of these sentences. Sorry, I don't mean to take the piss. They're hard for me to read. I'm dyslexic and they're not the best English. So my brain just like collapses. I doubt the Freelancer will increase even with any changes they make to it. The Freelancer variants might change in price slightly. Do we have much info on the science profession? Not really. They've talked about it a reasonable amount a few years ago with the Endeavour, but we don't know exactly what form it's going to take. We don't know their sort of like current thinking on it. With regards to shields, do you feel shields should be up 100% of the time or have to be raised? It depends what you want to do. If you want to go places faster and more efficiently, you'll have your shields down, but that's risky. And having power to systems all the time might cause them to degrade faster as well. So there's going to be a balance. I've been mining a lot. I see the update 3.4. Oh, there are mining updates. Do you know what changes they're making? General improvements to mining on both planetary bodies and asteroids. Other than that, I can't really discuss it because I'm in the Evocati for 3.4, which means I can't discuss the contents of patches that are ongoing, which I have access to. Not yet, anyway. It'll be at wider PTU soon. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love. Thank you. When Squadron 42 is released, will the Olden system be released to the PU? I suspect it will be released pretty soon afterwards. There'll be some other updates they need to do to it to make it persistent universe worthy, but I suspect it pretty soon after, yes. No holiday. Do you mean there's no holiday live stream this year, Valacor? That's the only thing they've confirmed. I believe there's still going to be a holiday special because there's a lot of stuff that they need to do. They need to update the roadmaps. They need to add the Squadron 42 roadmap. I'm almost certain there's going to be a holiday special video, just not a live stream. Do you think the trade terminals will work in a manner similar to this? Don't know. Oh, state 1. The terminal adjusts to the amount of product it will accept, and if acceptable to a trader, sell is completed for that amount. Example, Caterpillar with a full load of medical supplies tries to unload at ArcCorp on Daymar. The location can't handle the full load, so the terminal defaults to, say, 25 CU as maximum. They can accept dependent on supply and demand. State 2, the terminal readjusts the price it'll pay for the amount of supplies offered. Yes, I suspect that it will adjust based on the amount offered. So that's what I'm expecting, but I don't know. Do you believe the bounty merchant will have some kind of hanger for the defender? I think it's going to have some way of the defender being able to be hooked up to it, to maybe not a hanger, but maybe just like a little charging pad. That's what I'm envisioning, so that it can actually quantum jump with it, so it doesn't expend its own fuel, and it can rearm, repair, refuel, whatever. Maybe that will add a little tiny service bay type thing, so you can get to the ship while still being in the merchantman. Do you see what I mean? Do you think they will need to build system rep? Do you think we will need to build system rep in the future in order to gain access to core cities and buildings like Hurston building? Oh yeah, I do. I think reputation will be a big part of the NPCs that want to talk to you, that will offer you missions, and potentially getting into areas and potentially being offered different items and prices and all that sort of stuff. There'll be guilds to join. The Bounty Hunters Guild, for example, will allow you to see information on wanted criminals and be able to more easily engage them and scan them down and stuff. Hey Rich, with the introduction of Idris K, which is no longer called that, well it sort of is, do you think we'll see other ships with spinal beam weapon mounts, either refits or new? Dedicated ships, question mark? We'll see big mounts on certain ships, yeah. I'm just not sure what yet. When do you see server-side object container streaming becoming a reality? Do you see this as a roadblock to multiple systems in the PU? No, they talked about it in the monthly reports. It's something they're working on at the moment, and I expect that it's going to be done probably early to mid next year. So like that side of server-side object container streaming, they're going to be wanting to move on to server meshing as soon as possible. Some more server meshing type stuff like the lobby refactor, some of the groundwork for that is being built out now. So with no mention of the Crucible and the Falcon in Reverse the Verse, that is true, they were not mentioned, which was a shame. Do you think drone mechanics will appear in 2019? They wanted to get the mini drones in this year, but obviously that got pushed back. And the Reclaimer and Caracas drones. So yes, I do think they're going to want to get them in. It's probably not super high on the priorities list though. Yeah, a lot of the stuff here is when it's done, and I reckon. So please bear that in mind. But I'm reasonably accurate with mechanics. More so, 420, blaze it! Sorry, there's a number just saw. But I've been terribly bad with like Squadron 42 release dates. Oh. And I genuinely thought we were going to have ArcCorp and female models and the flight model in 3.4. So, I mean, I definitely get stuff wrong still. How far off do you think we are from have one ship that is bugless? I don't know. There's always going to be bugs in the game. Probably even when the game goes live. There's always going to be some little bugs. I think we're pretty close to that now. Though. I mean, I can fly around for a few hours without experiencing a bug in something like Valkyrie. Although actually going on the ladder, something without a ladder. Gladius, pretty solid. You've got a T16000M with throttle and paddles and all that sort of stuff. Any tips for setting them up? Not really, unfortunately. I'm not the best with HOTAS. Can you recommend any voice attack packs? Brian Blessed or Nubifer, both pretty slick. Can we have a naughty hobbitses? Tricksy little hobbitses, mate. What is CIG's current stance on equipping weapons like while wearing clothes? Oh, that's a good point. I think they wanted you to be able to have concealed weapons and stuff, and you probably will be able to have weapons with clothes eventually, but obviously that's not in yet. Probably when we have physicalized inventories, it'll probably be a thing. Do you expect we'll see light manufacturing ship since the Pioneer is a heavy manufacturing ship? Yeah, I'm hoping so. So maybe we'll get to one that allows us to build turrets on planets and little mining facilities and things like that, and do other forms of manufacture. How much work do you think has been done on other systems other than Stanton? Well, I mean, like the Odin systems had a lot done to it. They did actually originally start with the Terra system and then move on to other stuff. We know there's been some work, at least to Layer 3. We know they originally built out the Sol system, even if it was just to work out the size and scale of planets to solar system to star. So yeah, I think there's been a reasonable amount of work on some other systems, but it's mostly on the Stanton system and then the Squadron 42 systems, however many there are. There probably won't be many Squadron systems for Squadron 42. It'll probably be within, 1 to 4 systems. Ever thought about getting a service dog for what you deal with? Mine worked miracles for me dealing with darker times after the war. Oh, dude, I've got cats. Well, I've got a cat now. But yes, friends and pets, very good for me as well. I haven't heard... I heard we haven't explored all the secrets within the system at present. I'm looking to explore. Where do you think I should start? I'm looking to find something no one else has. Look around Hurston. Hurston's massive. There's a load of cool stuff there. There's cool coastlines. There's loads of cool features. People have been screenshotting me different types of mountains and beautiful vistas there. What rig am I running? I'm running a 8700K i7 CPU, 64 gigs of DDR4, 3000 MHz RAM, and 1080 Ti. Maltesers or Smarties? Probably Maltese. Used to be Smarties and orange ones from the Smarties, but probably now Maltesers. I feel that they're healthier somehow. Would you be surprised if Squadron 42 doesn't come out in 2019? Probably not now. I'd be disappointed though. Server meshing was first slated for 3.4. Do you think we'll see it in the persistent universe before 2020? I think we'll see an iteration of it. I think we were only going to see the first iteration of server meshing in 3.4 anyway, which would probably give expanded server limits. Server meshing was, that's what we talked about. Will you be able to change out the larger default weapon hard points on the character for a beam weapon? I suspect there will be a range of beam weapons. So, probably. Do you think CIG will consider increasing the ore capacity? We've already talked about that. I think the ore capacity of the Prospector is actually going to reduce, but it's going to have those detachable pods that fill. When can we expect to see Space Critters in Star Citizen? I wanted to see them at CitizenCon. We know that the Oni Crabs have actually been made, and they've shown off some other critters. But, middle of next year, maybe we'll start to see little derpy little things, creeper crawlies and things, or the Oni Crabs or whatever. Maybe. Will we be able to brawl fist fight? I believe so. And there's definitely going to be some form of melee. Will we see party targeting improvements going based off names is a pain in the ass? Yes, 100% we will see improvements to that. Is there any new information on when we might see the Polaris? Nope. Does the standard freelancer get a polish in 3.4 as well? I think it will probably get some like really light updates. Do you think they will give us better graphics options in the menu? Yeah. They're also going to be integrating Vulkan and stuff like that as well. I'm going to go in a second because I'm pretty hungry and... oh, it's actually not... No, I haven't been streaming that long. I'm fucking starving, pardon my French. Best guess on when you think NBC Cruise members will be available. I don't think we'll get to see that sort of stuff until 2020. Will there be any holiday special sales for Xmas or New Year's? With the next patch, maybe. I don't know for sure, Julius. Last year we had the Nova tank, and they also sold some starter packages. So the Aurora, Mustang, and Avenger Titan, I think. So I suspect we'll get some stuff. Do you think we'll see jump points in Squadron 42? Yes. Do you know if players can be arrested? If so, do you know how that will work? They've talked about it before, that they there's going to be a whole reputation system around this, with if you're caught doing a crime, you will be chased, and then if they catch you, they'll either fine you or imprison you, or something like that. Obviously you can get away from them, but your reputation will take a hit, whatever. If they can detect you, if they catch you, if they work out that it's you that's done a crime, your reputation will take a hit, and eventually your reputation will drop so low that you'll either be killed on sight or you'll be chased as soon as someone detects you again. That's going to be based on where you are and who it is. So different factions will have different reps with you based on what you've done. Yeah. Have you seen the Freelancer Max in game already? I have not. I can say that. I can say that I have not. Will food and water be required to stay alive? They've suggested that light survival mechanics will be in, so you'll have to eat and drink every so often. We're not really sure if you just die if you don't, or if you get less stamina or something like that. Yes, I have seen Crytek versus Star Citizen Case Dismissed from Nano French. I've also watched the Star Citizen Wins, Crytek Loses from Lealessa YouTuber Law. It's good to hear. I think I tried to cover a lot of that stuff relatively neutrally, because I don't know for sure. But obviously it looked relatively frivolous at the time, and I did basically say, look, we don't know what's going to happen, we'll follow it, but I mean, it's pretty common, pretty sensible language, it's pretty commonly used, and they're trying to reinterpret these meanings, so I'm glad that it's been, for the most part, sorted now. Yeah, so there is a buff and debuff system in game, so like bleeding's a debuff, and there might be environmental hazards and effects, so yeah, we might be able to get poisoned. We know we can get drunk. Is the Sentinel still your favourite of the Vanguard options? Yes. Go eat, I will in a bit. Is the wallet going to reset in the next patch? Almost certainly. Do you think there are secrets to be discovered that we haven't discovered yet on Planets and Moons? Yes, I do. There's certainly lots of unexplored regions of Hurston still. It is a whole planet. It is massive. It's like 1/6 the size of Earth or something, isn't it? But yes, there's a lot of gameplay area there. Even if it's just beautiful vistas, like, oh my god, this is amazing sort of thing. Right. Any other questiones? Do you think CGI, CIG, let's go for that, will go the extra mile and use linguistics to create languages for the aliens? They have. Tom, Goran, they have. They've literally done that. They've got the dude that made Klingon doing that. Xi'an is a learnable language, my friend. They've got that for the Vandal. They've got that for the Banu as well, I believe. Boom. Will this game have deals around Christmas? We might see on the 20th, 21st, that's what I'm expecting, a holiday special, and we might see some deals or some starter packs or whatever, or a concept sale or whatever. No confirmation on that, but that's what I'm expecting. Any other questions from people? Thank you very much for joining me when I do these silly things. I know they're pretty chill, and it's just me talking a lot of the time. I'm going to be doing a lot more gameplay. I'm going to be employing my mate Zinnia next year to help me edit, but also help me stream and gameplay. She's going to be working with me full time, which is going to be fucking amazing for the channel. Means I'll be able to stream a billion more times a week. That's probably an exaggeration. A lot more a week. I'll be able to make a lot more content, better get better angles, better, footage, edit better, because I won't be editing so much, and my editing's shit. So things like that. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Do you think tractor beams will be in the game? Yeah, they will be. For example, the Caterpillar has a tractor beam room now. Some of the ships are supposed to have tractor beams, but they're not done yet. But yes, it will have tractor beams. Is there anything super exciting coming this week? No, next week's probably the most super exciting things. Probably have a pretty cool Around the Verse tomorrow, though. In Calling All Devs this week, they talked about NPC crews and schedules. So we will have NPCs that have, when we have our own crews, when we purchase crews or whatever, they will have on-duty and off-duty sort of modes. But if they're in combat, they will run to their stations, but they will want to eat, sleep, shower, drink. And if you prevent them from doing that by putting them on red alert and combat mode all the time, they will get worse and worse at their roles. They talked about they do want players to be able to dynamically. They do want players to be able to choose what height they sit at in a chair, but that's a little far off because they need to dynamically change a load of stuff to allow players to do that. And they also want each of the departments for each of the features to look at the different things that might persist for settings in ships and MFDs and stuff, and then that will be added at some point to the game so that we can save settings, save power settings, save MFD layouts and stuff like that as well. There's a load of Crytek versus CIG lawsuit stuff up from Leonard French and Leo Lesser, so that's the Lawful Masses and YouTuber Law. Here is my article on it. Basically, it is what they've basically said is it's pretty much over in favour of CIG, though Crytek do have a few more days to amend their claim for a third amended complaint, according to those more legal experts than I. It's pretty open and shut now, but we'll have to wait and see, because anything could happen, I suppose. What else do we have? Anything exciting? Oh, I saw this. If you want to see these videos, Bam. Not French. I'll actually add those to my article. I saw an Idris. So yeah, this is weird. Desktop. So I saw this, and it was unlisted, but it had been posted here February 2018. It's an Idris exploding, but it's only just started getting views. It's weird. I saw it posted on Reddit. It's just an Idris blowing up. It was weird.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Here's a. Thank you very much, the few. I appreciate the sub. Thank you. Mwah. It's just Idris is blowing up from 2017. It's like, oh cool. It's weird. I just saw it posted on Reddit. It just started getting views today. So maybe it was a clip that was supposed to be used for our TV. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Ba 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 ba. So the freelancers are supposed to be in 3.4, the new variants. So expect it for towards the end of this month. There's different skins for the Idris as well, eh? It's interesting. But it's unlisted as well, so I'm not really sure. You know, it's there.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I think it's pretty cool. Oh, no worries. Who said thank you to me? Bam. Thank you very much for the sub, for the love, the Kitra. I love you. Bam. Let us go back here. But yeah. Any idea? Let's go through these new questions. Boom. Question: the popping that occurs from players and NPC movements, will that be smoothed out? They're trying to get that smoothed out in 3.4. What else we got? Pass along the idea. Think we could, for example, find a moon and place our hangars there, making it our home. I think that's what a lot of people want, and I think that's what the outpost system will, to some extent, allow us to do. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to have storable hangars that will allow us to spawn ships there and store them there. I'm not sure if we just have to have landing pads or have to have physical hangars. I'm not entirely sure. I'd love the idea of just an underground hangar pad that allows us to bring up ships that we've got stored underground. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Any idea when we'll be able to outfit our ships? And that will be accounted for in the insurance. They're going to be adding insurance that will allow us to insure, I believe, items and potentially cargoes and stuff like that in the future. I just don't know when. Yeah, the quarterly releases have set date, so it's March 29, end of March, end of June, end of September / October 10th, because it's sort of like between there. So it was going to be originally end of September, but then they said, well, let's do that release at CitizenCon. CitizenCon's normally around then, so it's just within those days, within those couple of weeks, and then end of December. So 4 major releases a year. But yeah, that was apparently from 2017, but was posted and uploaded on the 28th of February 2018. And only started getting posts today. I saw it linked on the Reddit, and then psh. But yeah, it was weird. Anyway, oh, my favourite ship. What's my favourite ship? I love the Reclaimer. Love the Carrack, and I love the Banner Merchantman. Probably the Carrack now. Polaris? No, not Polaris. Orion. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. Group missions with group rewards and the like. When do we think we're getting them? I think we're sort of like 3.5, 3.6. We'll get more and more stuff like that. They're going to keep on improving the systems. That's the idea. But yeah, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. We're going to go check out and find another streamer that's probably better than me. Oh my god, there's some fucking big fucking boys. I'm not talking about fat boys. I'm talking about maybe, I don't know. There's some people, there's a lot of people streaming, isn't there? How come there were no discussions on cockpit issues resolution on the Defender on RTV? They actually, well, they didn't talk about it on the RTV, but they did say that they will and have addressed the problem with the view on the Defender with its arms. So I don't know exactly what it is, but they are aware of that problem and they've addressed it. So hopefully either you're sitting up in a position so you can see better, or the arms are slightly more down, or whatever. Has anyone ever tried to go to the sun? Yes. In fact, one of the Anut, one of my friends, tried to do it because there was there must have been some dev testing or something on the server, and someone left a marker in the middle of the sun, so he was travelling to it. I don't think he died. It's quite far away, though. The Merchantman's supposed to have an indoor market. Any clue how that could work or run? Yeah, it'll be like a shop. You'll be able to purchase things from there, and then people get paid from there. Maybe. Oh, we see renting space to others, maybe? Oh, yeah, potentially. Might not be your own shops. I'm not sure how robust contracts and stuff will be in the game. It's an interesting one. I'd like to be able to do that. I think that would be cool. Will 3.4 bring us missions for Hurston and its moons? That's the idea, yes. That's one of the major things that 3.4 is supposed to do. Hook up the missions, get NPCs working, get missions working, get everything as polished as possible, rather than adding much in the way of new mechanics. When we will see the first carriers completed, what size of carrier are you talking about? We've got ships that can carry ships now. Ooh. But probably, if you're talking about the big capital ships, after Squadron 42 is released, we'll start to see stuff like that maybe at the end of next year. Like the big ships with other ships on them, like more than one other ship. Will there be some sort of water purification system for bases on moons and planets? Yeah, so moisture collectors, I think they've mentioned previously, so I think that's probably what they do. I own an Arrow. Shall I upgrade it to the new Freelancer? Wait. I'd wait until you see the new Freelancers in 3.4. And they'll almost certainly do a flyable ship sale anyway, so. How do you feel about the Banner Merchantman? I need to see how it's evolved, to be honest. I like what I saw in the last concept, though. Anyway, who is around? Got someone new? We got someone new here. Drop one of these dudes some love. We've got. Okay, I'm gonna give a choice to two people. Let's see how this goes down. Oh, there's fucking movies running in the background. It's fucking Spider-Man, the Spooderverse. What is your experience with shadow input delay? I've got pretty good experiences with it. So I can play Star Citizen relatively well with Shadow now and record from it. I wouldn't want to play with my connection at home competitive Star Marine with it. It's slightly too much delay with that. But it's been pretty good. So, oh, this dude's literally ending.
Now.
What else have we got? One of the guys was ending. He was also French, which would have been not as intended. Oh my! This guy has beautiful hair.
Flying around.
Oh, so you can have greater acceleration.
Right, we're hosting this guy. This guy looks beautiful. He looks like a lion. I don't know if the freelancers will go up in price, but quite possibly those variants. Mate, I've got to go with this guy because he's a lion. I've not seen him ever before. So, I love you guys. You take care. I'll see you in the verse. If you want Lions. If you want your org to be potentially featured on one of my new org spotlights, please go to discord.gg/BoredGamer, poke me, give me the links to your org, tell me, pretend to recruit me, and I'll have a look and I'll add it to my list. They can be big, they can be small. You do not need to give me anything. Please do not offer me anything in that initial contact. If after you get featured you want to go, yes, I want to give away a ship on your channel, boom, to sweeten the deal. Great, but that will be after everything else is done. So, appreciate it. People offer me ships all the time. Do not want barriers to entry to all of my content or anything like that. That would be crazy. I effectively I've got relatively popular because I'm not a total tosser, and that I allow anyone to have access to like those org spot sites and stuff. So please keep that in mind. You do not need to sweeten the deal. Right, I love you guys. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse. Check out this Lion dude and give him like BoredGamer emotes or something. I don't know. Just tell him he's a scrub. No, tell him he's a, I don't know. I love you.